I'm feeling goosebumps right now, okay? I just want you to know that I am touched beyond my core. And as I'm thinking about the phenomenal work that you are doing where you're stationed, I know that you are not just impacting those lives there in Atlanta, but you are also instrumental in the world. And so your work has taken you to different parts of the globe to provide healthcare to women who don't readily have these services. Could you speak a little bit about what that means to you and the recipients of this care or this type of care?
So whenever I show up anywhere, I consider it that I am actually bringing my body there as a woman, as a Black woman, in my role, that is already saying something before I even open my mouth. And I don't want to sound a little preachish, but I'll just sound a little preachish for a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
But I grew up a little, I grew up in the church. And I remember once when I heard my pastor say, you know what, if you believed in that there is a heaven and there is a hell, you really wouldn't just live your life without trying to save people from going to hell.
Right.
I've adopted this quite a bit to my job and my role, that I believe strongly that interventional radiology and what we do here, doing minimally invasive procedure, is better medicine.
Yes.
And therefore, since I believe that what I do every day improves lives, improves health, and save lives.
Yes.
So then why would I want to just do this at Emory? If I believe that what I do really matters, then I wouldn't want to just make it better and better right where I am. And it turns out, Janet, and your audience, that it takes just a little bit to make a huge step in other places, right? So for my work and our work in Tanzania, which I get to say that it's the first interventional radiology training program in sub-Saharan Africa, and some people say for the entire continent of Africa. It's more than just going to a place to do the work. What it is, it's training people to do what I do so that when I'm gone, they could continue to do it.
Excellent.
So it's not missionary work that we're on. It is how to empower, how to actually create a training program that would serve all of Tanzania and Rwanda and Nigeria and Kenya and Ethiopia, so that these people will be able to actually continue to serve the population of that country when I'm gone. And yes, I'm interested in doing it in my own island country of Jamaica. And so I am in contact with people there and try to provide consulting services for them as well, but more deeply into Africa.
I see. Well, technology is definitely taking Africa, the continent itself is poised for more businesses and technology companies going there. So I think being able to bring this to them is awesome, but even more so, it's the empowerment piece that is resonating with me today. The fact that you are equipping others to replace you, because you're just one person confined by place and time, but with these people being able to acquire the skills that you have, and now they're able to impart, impact, and to influence change in their community, I believe that is exceptional. I'm fascinated right now by that, and also their receptivity, because sometimes you have good product, great ideas, but it's not always well received. Timing can influence the fact, but I think that the mere fact that these group of people, wherever they're located, they want what you have and they're open to it. And I think that's also commendable, not only on your part, but also on their part.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it is my life's passion. And one of the reasons that I came back to an academic center after years in private practice, right? It is the promise that I was fulfilling, that I made to a God that I didn't really know that much about as a child, to say, if I could learn anything and know it for sure, then I promised that I would teach it. Wow. So it is my life's work here at Emory that I believe passionately in education. I believe in training the future generations. That is exactly how our legacy actually continues. And outside of legacy, no matter what we do, it will only live on through others. Awesome. And so I am committed to that excellence in training here at Emory and in the surrounding areas in Atlanta, Georgia, in the US, but definitely committed to that training. Teach a man how to fish, that's right, and they will fish. Wow. And it's amazing. You're right, the hunger, the curiosity. And when I talk, Janet, to people in ministry and leadership, I let them know that the wealth of any nation, of any people, is directly connected to the health of every nation and any people. Awesome. And so it is important that even in, as we call it, the developing countries, right, that there is a shift from the wealth focus to the health focus. Because if you die while you're getting wealth, then you have a huge loss of those people. Right. So how do we marry those two, the wealth of a nation and the health of a nation?
Wow. And here you are at the intersection of both, and you are able to now, we saw how music and fashion fuse together to create more awareness and a global effect. And so you are now right here combining, connecting both worlds to do a greater impact and to achieve more. And I think that, again, speaks volume of your commitment to medicine, as well as the promise you made. You said to your God, whom you didn't know as much about as a child, but here you are still fulfilling that promise. And that needs to be stated and to be heard, because you're not just living for yourself, but you're also living for others, and to give them something that they can do more with for themselves and others. So I see the multiplication, the process going on. Now, medicine is your heart, it's evident. Your commitment is unquestionable. But one of the things that I also see is that you are involved in the community outside of science. And most recently, we have seen the Black Lives Matter movements and all the injustices that is taking place. And you are not silent. Can you talk a little bit about your affiliation with White Coats for Justice?
Yeah, so I think that we have been given an opportunity right now, because you've said something before, Janet, about marrying the moment with these missions, right? I think the way that you kind of phrase it before is that sometimes it's the intersection of the right time to do something. And we're alive at a period of time that we're experiencing something that is like may never happen again in anyone's lifetime. Right. It's the intersection of what we would call two pandemics. Pandemic of COVID-19 and the pandemic of social justice and change. Yes. And as someone who represents both worlds, it would be foolish of me not to be able to figure out how to operate in the highest level in both worlds. It just turns out that this virus is also affecting my community to a larger extent than others. At the same time that the Black community is also dealing with unprecedented social change, not unprecedented discrimination or unprecedented violence. That has been there all along.
Exactly.
It is just the unprecedented awakening.
Yes.
And so now it is my responsibility as well, and I consider it as so, to try to use my platform, no matter what it is. And again, it is not the platform of being the division chief of interventional radiology at Emory.
Right.
This is outside of that.
Right.
It is that it is my responsibility to not be silent as I witness some of these disparities. Right. It is easy to speak about this in the context of medicine. Because for too long, I believe that we've accepted what would be considered, oh, it's just that way because it is, right? This is just the way it is. But the marrying of these two things have forced us to examine a few other things about my own ivory tower, our specialty of medicine. How is it that we can practice more equal healthcare for all, where it's not as you don't see those disparities as much? How is it that we bring that diversity, that richness in everywhere, in every place that we are? So it turns out, Janet, that just by being, by showing up, by making sure that you are, for myself, my ways of protesting are many, right? Yes, it is going down to the protest and making sure that I am heard in the numbers, but my protest is sometimes right here in my office. Okay. My protest is making sure that I am present at the board meetings, and that I'm ready and I'm operating in excellence. My protest is that I'm making sure that I'm an example to the younger generations, that I am not becoming one of those statistics. My protest is that I am mentoring and I'm sponsoring younger Black men and women who want to go into medicine, and not just in medicine, people that are looking for someone that is willing to lay down themselves and say, you can walk across me to get to where you're going to be. How do I use your platform to get to my goal? Those are all different ways of protesting. And the only form of protest that is not acceptable is silence or doing nothing.
Woo, powerful, powerful, powerful. You know, we hear the term Renaissance man, and it's usually referred to someone who is multifaceted in giftings. And if I may, today I would say that you are a Renaissance woman because of what it is that you're doing inside and outside to make the world a better place. I couldn't be more pleased today than to have this opportunity to speak with you and to allow you to help others learn about what it is that you do and the greater work that is still to come and need more individuals committing themselves at this level to make a difference. And the important thing is not to wait until we are great to start, but is to start until we become great. As we conclude our session today, I'm absolutely grateful for this time with you. If you were to think of maybe a poem or a song that epitomizes your commitment to the world or sums up your life purpose, what would that be?
Oh boy.
It was supposed to be a lighthearted one.
So I don't sing, although I think I could sing.
I think you could too.
Not at all. That epitomizes my work today. Or well, it is hard to. It's hard to sum that up in just one poem or just one song.
I know.
But what I would say, Janet, is I listen to gospel music. Mm-hmm. I find that it inspires me, mm-hmm. and it inspires me to continue this work so that I can inspire others.
Right.
So when you say the you have to walk this mile, you have to walk these words,
Yes.
so that you can actually help someone else to walk this world.
Yes.
So I think of a stanza in a poem. I can't even remember who wrote it right now, but I remember reciting it as a child in Jamaica. It says, heights of great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight.
That's right.
But they, while their companions slept,
Yes.
were toiling onwards through the night.
Wow.
That's a poem that actually I remember often as I continue this work. And one of the songs that I think epitomizes my life, because my life is one of service and one now of servant leadership.
Yes.
And at times it can seem quite lonely. And as I try to encourage people who are going on in their life right now, I would say, you're never alone. And so that song by, I believe it's Tori Kelly, featuring Kirk Franklin, that says, you know, life is just, you know, stories of some highs and some lows.
Right.
If you are looking for a miracle, you're seeing one right before your eyes.
Wow.
I've cried many rivers, gone through some pain, but the one thing I've always known is that I'm never alone. And that could be interpreted in all kinds of ways.
Right.
But as I encourage others, I'd say that you're not alone, because I'm here.
Exactly.
And you have others with you. And then you always have unseen friends all around that's there to help you. And because I've walked through that myself, that becomes my life story and how I can also encourage others. Now, for all my sisters out there, I'd say there's another song, and I'm going to try to sing it a little bit. It says, count on me through thick and thin.
Yes.
A friendship that will never end. Because when you are weak, Janet, I'll be strong.
That's right.
Helping you to carry on. Call on me, I'll be there. Don't be afraid.
That's right.
Please believe me when I say you can count on me. So those are my songs and a poem that I think really epitomizes what I consider my work and my life.
Awesome. Dr. Newsome, that was awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me here at CanOpus Chats. I know your story will ignite a flame in someone else, and I want you to continue doing what you love to do so that this world can become a better place.
Thanks for having me, Janet, and congratulations to you and CanOpus Chat, a place where I was told that these are thoughts worth sharing.
Excellent. Thank you, and thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.